गोपाचले महादुर्गे ग्वालिपा यत्र तिष्ठते रिद्धि सिद्धि प्रदातारो ये नमन्ति दिने दिने.
In these Sanskrit verses from Gopachal Akhyan, the great poet Khadag Rai describes an opulent land decorated with a great fort, which we now know as Gwalior.
Namaste, my name is Anshuman Tripathi, and today I am going to talk about the city of Gwalior. A very famous destination, still less visited by international travelers. This video I am going to present today is an endeavor to introduce you with the glorious history and heritage of Gwalior. Thank you.
Sacred land of hermit Gwalipa, a grand treasure of archaeology, political history, culture, music, and a unique, impregnable fort, a city echoed with the music of Tansen, a city that has seen endless saga of love between Mansingh and beautiful Mrigneni. Not just that, but the supreme sacrifices made during the First War of Independence by the likes of Maharani Lakshmi Bai. This city we now know as Gwalior. In the age of Mahabharata, this region was referred to as Gopurashtra. During that time, there was a place mentioned by the name Padmavati, which we now know as Pavaya. Going by that epic historical mention, it can be considered the most ancient site of the region. Pavaya was also the capital of Naga dynasty. A land referred to as Gopurashtra was later called Gwalikev, Gopachal, Gwalior, and finally Gwalior. So we find extensive historical data and enough archaeological evidence to conclude that Gwalior is among the most ancient cities of India and it has a glorious past. Admiring the Gopachal rock-cut sculptures and ancient structures around as we arrive at the Man Mandir Palace, already overwhelmed by the grandeur of the fort, we witness a unique specimen of medieval Indian Hindu architecture which is surviving and is in impeccable condition. Man Mandir Palace, the pride of Gwalior Fort, built by Tomar dynasty king Maharaja Mansingh. This multi-story palace still stands tall in all its glory. Maharaja Mansingh, the famous Tomar dynasty king, built two palaces in the fort of Gwalior. One for his beloved queen, Mrigneni, which is now known as Gujari Mahal, situated at the very base of the hill. From there we see a winding road coming up, which was earlier for the elephant, is now a pedestrian way. Man Mandir Palace almost creates a front facade for the fort of Gwalior. A unique example of master craftsmanship. When we go close to the sculptures and cupolas, we see very intricate pattern of carvings on sandstone. Sometimes it's hard to believe that it is hammer and chisel work done on sandstone. It almost looks like wood carving. In addition to carvings, the exquisite work in form of precious and semi-precious stone, lapis lazuli, use of turquoise and yellow jasper, leaves us wondering about the degree of skill and craftsmanship. Treasuring all this in our memories, we head towards our next attraction, the Temple of Sahasrabahu.
Namaste. Now that the Gwalior is World Heritage City, the Gwalior Fort complex has a beautiful temple complex called Sahasrabahu Temple. Sahasrabahu meaning the temple of thousand armed Vishnu. This temple complex has two temples, the smaller temple and the bigger temple. The bigger temple is dedicated to Sahasrabahu, the Vishnu, and a smaller temple is also dedicated to Vishnu, but then there is a misconception in the locals that it is dedicated to Lord Shiva. This temple complex was built by Kachvagata rulers 1000 years ago. The Kachvagata rulers were the feudatories of the great rulers of central India called Chandelas. This beautiful temple complex today has only the pavilions, the Sanctum Sanctorum, the Garbhagriha where the chief deity should be kept, and the tower over this Garbhagriha are lost. Only 25% of the temples are remaining today, but even though the intricate carvings and 1000 murtis across the temple walls attract tourists across the world today. This temple complex is the most beautiful temple complex in central India today. I welcome you all to visit Sahasrabahu Temple of Gwalior.
Having survived the strokes of time and invasions over the centuries, what remains and meets the eye is still very beautiful. Capturing all this in our memories as we move ahead, one cannot help but noticing a beautiful structure of Gurudwara far in the distance. A birding enthusiast can also notice a nesting colony of long-billed Indian vultures and sometimes Himalayan vultures who come to Gwalior for their wintering.
Another beautiful temple complex in Gwalior Fort is Telika Mandir. Telika Mandir is a 1100 years old temple built by Gurjara Pratihara rulers, one of the famous dynasty that has ruled central India. This temple, Telika Mandir, is believed by the locals to be combination of Nagara, the North Indian style of architecture, and then Dravida, the South Indian style of temple architecture. But in reality, this temple is a small variety of Nagara architecture called as Vallabhi style. This temple is dedicated to Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva and Saptamatrikas, the 7 mother goddesses. This temple is one of the most beautiful temple and the tallest standing temple in the Gwalior Fort complex as of today. Do visit Telika Mandir and enjoy its architectural beauty.
So viewers, now you know that even if you go out of the city of Gwalior, Gwalior is a city which will never go out of your memory. It leaves an everlasting impression. I request you to keep the idea of visiting city of Gwalior in your travel plans on your next trip to India. Thanks for watching this video.